Hello, it is Dr. Askkrystalracquel and I'm back again with a video for today. I hope you all are doing amazingly. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. You can also send me an email at askkrystalracquel@gmail.com if you have any questions that you would like to see me answer on video. So today's topic is do not give advice to people who you know are not going to take it. So I think that is such an important topic because people really need to put energy into things that are going to help them in life, things that are going to benefit them in some way. And there are many people who have a gift of being able to provide sound wisdom to other people, who are able to help other people with different things that are occurring in their lives. However, my point is, don't waste your energy for things that you know are not going to change, right? So whether it's in your life that you're going to put energy into, or in providing counsel, guidance, advice to other people, really make sure it's someone that you think is going to actually hear you out and potentially listen to what you're saying. Do not waste your time talking to people because it's really like you're talking to deaf ears. Don't waste your time. You can even get so consumed with giving advice to people, but what's happening is they are not going to take your advice, and possibly eventually they may even turn on you and think you're trying to tell them what to do, that you don't know what you're talking about or whatever. This is just so important because the reason why I'm talking about this is just because I know it's important. There's a lot of people who mean well. They're out here trying to provide sound advice. They're trying to help other people, but what ends up happening is that person actually gets so consumed with, that individual actually gets so consumed with the other person's issue and problem, then they end up starting to maybe feel overwhelmed, and they start to, not feel good because they're giving all their energy to these people or this person, and this person is not even going to take the advice. The person sometimes maybe is just venting. They just want to talk about maybe what's going on in their life, but there's some people, they just want to talk, right? They want to just discuss things, and I think that's okay sometimes if you want to vent about something, but if you're the person that's receiving the venting, there has to be a limit, right? You don't want to put all your energy into providing someone guidance, providing them support, providing them help, and then what you end up doing is like you're starting to take on their issue, because that person is venting. They may just want to talk and vent, and then when they're done, they're like, whew, I got all to themselves. They're like, oh, I got all of that off my chest. Wow, okay. I know she told me to do this or he told me to do this, but you know what? I'm just gonna keep doing what I want to do, And then when I'm not feeling good again, I'm gonna go back to them and vent some more. Ooh, I feel so good. I was able to vent again. No, like you're wasting your time, and you're not a garbage can. You don't need to take on someone's dramas. You don't need to take on someone's problems. And, I know it can be hard. I know people talk about, being an empath and those sorts of things, or being very caring and wanting to help people, having a really kind heart, being really sweet. Yeah, try and help the person. That's okay. You can give somebody advice once, but if they come back to you with the same issue again and again and again, or even more than 2 times, and you see that you've provided them advice and they're not taking it, it's time to maybe distance yourself from that person, because you're not going to end up in a good situation, because they're probably going to stay in that situation, whatever it is, or they're probably not going to take your advice. Like if you make a suggestion for them in terms of what they can do about a work situation that's going on, or something going on at school, or just in their life in general, and like trying to tell them, advise them on what's the best decision or what you think is going to help them in their future. It could even be regarding what they need to do if they're looking to settle down, some changes that they need to make within their life. They might be venting to you about one of those scenarios, and then you provide that advice, and then they come back to you again and again and again. It's the same thing. You're really just wasting your energy. And yes, I know you may love to give people advice, but you may end up becoming overwhelmed with all that information that you're receiving. You don't need that. You don't need that drama. You don't need that stress. Try to help somebody and then move on, right? You have too much going on in your life to be sitting on the phone talking to someone, or sitting in someone's face in person to be talking to someone, because it's going to be the same thing over and over a lot of times, right? So if there's people who you know will genuinely take your advice and they will listen to you, and obviously nobody has to take your advice, but if you know that they're coming to you about a situation and you've advised them multiple times, it's time for you to probably withdraw, right? If they're still in the same situation and not taking your advice, you have to think to yourself, wait a minute, they keep coming to me about these same things, but I've already advised them. What's really going on here, right? What is really going on here? So really just think to yourself, think about what it is that you would like to, what it is that you are trying to accomplish by talking to them, right? You're trying your best, you're trying to help them out and lead them in the right direction, but are they listening to you? If you see that sometimes, the person is speaking to you, the person is listening to you, then okay, go forward. But if it's a constant thing of them, bringing you drama or bringing you the same scenario over and over, and they haven't listened to not one thing that you said, just let it go, because a lot of times people end up trying to turn on you. They may end up being like, oh, you know what, what's her name thinks, or what's his name thinks that he's too good, or she's too good, or she thinks she knows everything, he thinks she knows everything, and I'm not going to listen to them. Like they're not telling me anything that makes sense, or they're just doing this because they're jealous of me, or or they might be saying, oh, they don't really care, they're just trying to make things up, they can't help me in any way, shape, or form. So really just be mindful, because it happens a lot. People end up turning on the person who's trying to advise them. So I'm gonna make another video about this afterwards, but yeah, just don't give advice to people who don't want your advice. They're not really in a place where they can probably even accept it and make a change. But yes, there are people who you can advise and they'll listen to you for sure, but don't waste your time. Do not cause yourself drama. Do not bring stress into your life. And you really just want to make sure that you are preserving your energy, because it can take a lot out of you. It can really cause you stress when you're constantly having to take on someone's issue, right? Focus on your own life. How are you going to have energy for someone else if you can't? How are you going to have energy for yourself if you can't even process what's going on with someone else, or it's just so much drama? You're not even going to have time for yourself. It's just too much. So just really make sure that you are assessing the situation at hand. Make sure, if you are trying to help somebody, if you make sure that you periodically think to yourself, are they taking my advice, or are they even asking for advice? Are they just coming to dump their drama for listening ears? And if it's just like once or twice, okay, but if it's all the time, they're just here to dump and just tell you things and they don't want to change, it's time for you to remove yourself from that situation, because you don't need the negativity, you don't need the drama. You really just need to be able to focus on yourself and your life. So that's what I advise. I'm someone, I love being able to help other people and stuff like that, but I just know in general, it can be a lot for other people, right? So if that's not something where you feel like you were called to do that, if that's not something where you feel that you have the energy and focus to do that and help other people, I highly recommend that you just disengage. And like, even if you do have the energy and the time, how are you going to make time for yourself when you're focused on someone else's problems? It's probably going to start consuming you. It's going to start making you worry. It might even make you start applying their scenario to your own life when it has nothing to do with your life, right? You don't want that to happen. Just focus on yourself. Focus on building your life. And yes, help people. If you're a mature person, you want to be able to help other people, that's fine. But you can't waste your time. Like, how are you going to help other people if the current people that you're helping are consuming your time and then also not taking your advice, right? So I think if somebody's coming to you and asking for help them. Try your best. But if they keep coming back with the same issue, it's time to move on and see who else actually needs your help or your services, right? Don't waste your time on somebody who's just coming to you to speak and vent all the time. That is not what you're there for. You're there to support people. That is 100% okay, but please do not allow people to just dump on you, because it's going to cause you stress. You're not going to have the energy to fulfill things in your life, fulfill your relationships, friendships, family life. You're going to be bogged down with the stress of someone else, and those things can be spiritual as well. Like, you don't want somebody bringing all their depression, their anxiety to you, right? Because if you're around someone who's like that all the time, that may eventually fall on you, right? You don't want that. Even though you may not think it can happen to you, over time it might. You might just feel like you're in a slump one day, then you look back and you're like, wait a minute, so and so is always feeling down and not feeling good about life, and now I'm starting to feel the same thing. It's time for me to separate myself, so keep those things in mind. You definitely do not want to make yourself the dumping ground for someone else. Continue to live your life in the best way you can, following God's word, following things that you were taught and about how you're supposed to live life. And I think things are going to be better for you, but please do not allow yourself to just take on everyone's problems, because that's not going to help you. And that can even cause things in your life in terms of you not feeling well, you feeling stressed, and like others' problems, you may even start feeling like it's happening to you. It's not good, right? So let me know what you think down below. Have you come across people who sometimes they just want to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk about their problems, but then they don't want a resolution? How do you handle that? Have a great day. Bye.